My name is Antonia Ngabala Sodono, and I am the UN Women representative to Kenya. It is both an honor and a deep personal privilege for me to join you today at this regional workshop on positive masculinity and the fight against gender-based violence. Gender-based violence remains one of the most pervasive violations of human rights globally and across our continent. Every day, women and girls face violence in their homes, communities, schools, workplaces, and online. Globally, it is a devastating human rights violation, affecting 1 in 3 women in their lifetime. In Kenya, about 45% of women aged between 15 and 49 years old have experienced either physical or sexual violence. Moreover, femicide has become a national crisis. Every week, we wake to the horrific stories of women and girls brutally murdered, often by those closest to them. At this point, I want to greatly appreciate the Kenya government for its effort by establishing the Technical Working Group on Gender-Based Violence, headed by Honorable Bareza here present, and thank you, my sister. UN Women's engagement with the Technical Working Group on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide reveals that weak enforcement of protection frameworks and deeply entrenched cultural misogyny and impunity continue to fuel the crisis. The reality is that justice remains out of reach for too many victims and survivors, sending a message of impunity to the perpetrators. Despite the progress we have made in policy, legislation, and advocacy, deeply entrenched patriarchal norms and unequal power structures continue to enable cycles of violence and discrimination. We are here today because we believe this must change, and that this change is not only possible, but inevitable if we work together. In February 2024, the African Union adopted the Convention on Ending Violence Against Women and Girls, the AU Convention. This is the first ever continental treaty fully dedicated to eliminating violence against women and girls, including emerging threats like technology-facilitated gender-based violence. UN Women urges Kenya and other AU member states to ratify and domesticate this convention as a matter of priority. This convention is more than a document. It offers a powerful framework to challenge social norms, and this workshop is a strategic platform to advance its ratification and implementation, while empowering girls, young women, and male allies to lead the change. The convention is a promise to our daughters, to our sisters, and future generations that we will not rest until safety, dignity, and equality are non-negotiable rights across the continent. Last month, the global community gathered at the CSW 69 in New York to review progress towards gender equality, 30 years after the Beijing Platform for Action. One of the key takeaways from CSW 69 was the recognition that engaging men and boys is central to achieving Sustainable Development Goal 5, SDG 5, on gender equality. I am happy to report that we in Kenya had already taken action. UN Women, together with the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action and other stakeholders on gender equality and women empowerment, facilitated in 2024 the development of the first draft of the National Male Engagement and Inclusion Strategy, because we knew that positive masculinity is a powerful tool in our collective journey towards gender justice. It calls on men and boys to reject harmful norms that equate manhood with dominance, aggression, or control. Instead, it promotes empathy, accountability, respect, and partnership. Positive masculinity challenges men to become allies, not only in words, but in action, to foster healthier relationships, to stand against violence, and to advocate for systems that are just, inclusive, and protective of all. Ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, this workshop brings together a vibrant and diverse group, from youth advocates to policymakers, civil society leaders to regional and international partners. We are here to share knowledge, build skills, and develop strategies that will move us from dialogue to action. Let me commend the She Leads program for its unwavering commitment to empowering girls and young women. The program continues to create space for young leaders to challenge social norms, claim their rights, and shape the decisions that affect their lives. Today's gathering is an extension of that mission. Over the next 2 days, together we will delve in the many layers of this work. We will deconstruct toxic masculinity and explore how it impacts leadership, policymaking, and personal relationships. We will deepen our understanding of gender-based violence in both physical and digital spaces and address urgent issues such as online child sexual exploitation and abuse. We will build advocacy skills, equipping girls, young women, and youth at large to engage decision makers. We will foster intergenerational and cross-sector dialogue because transformation requires all of us. To the male allies joining us, thank you for showing up. This work cannot succeed without your commitment to unlearning, to listening, and to leading by example. To the young women and girls leaders present, your courage, clarity, and creativity inspire all of us. You are not the leaders of tomorrow, you are already leading today. In conclusion, this workshop is not just a convening, it is a call to action. Let us seize this moment to co-create a future where violence is no longer a shadow in the lives of women and girls, where masculinity uplifts rather than oppresses, and where digital and physical spaces are equally safe, inclusive, and empowering. Together, let us lead with purpose, let us lead with hope, let us lead with justice. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please give her a real clap, a real one. Thank you, we appreciate you. I would now like to welcome Honorable Dr. Nancy Makoha Baraza. She is the chairperson of the Technical Working Group on Gender-Based Violence of the Republic of Kenya. Please clap for her. I like that. Karibu sana, Daktari. Karibu.
Our technical working group is not just any gathering. It is a meeting of experts, a collective of dedicated minds brought together with a clear and urgent mandate to develop and recommend actionable strategies to the President of the Republic of Kenya for addressing gender-based violence, including the alarming rise in femicide. As we gather here in Nairobi, we do so with a shared purpose, which is to challenge the status quo, to dismantle the harmful norms and practices that perpetuate violence, and to reimagine what it means to be a man in our societies. Gender-based violence continues to be one of the most pervasive human rights violations in the world. It affects millions of women and girls every year, robbing them their dignity, freedom, and too often their lives. According to the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey 2022, 34% of women aged between 15 to 49 have experienced physical violence, and 13% have faced sexual violence at some point in their lives. And beyond these statistics are real people, our sisters, daughters, mothers, neighbors, and friends whose lives are forever altered. Femicide, the most extreme manifestation of GBV, has become alarmingly common in many of our Kenyan communities. And behind every statistic is a name, a story, a family forever changed. Our work at the Technical Working Group is grounded on the belief that prevention is not only possible, but also essential. And to truly prevent GBV, we must address its root causes, patriarchal systems, unequal power dynamics, and harmful gender norms. We gather here today not to despair, but to act. This workshop signals a shift in the conversation, from reactive to proactive, from punitive to preventive, and most importantly, from silence to speaking out. Now, positive masculinity is not about diminishing men. It is about redefining strength as compassion, power as responsibility, and leadership as partnership. It is about creating space for boys and men to express vulnerability. Let our men and boys cry, to reject violence, and to become allies in the fight for equality and justice. Positive masculinity is one of the most powerful tools we have in this fight. It challenges the traditional norms that equate masculinity with dominance and control. It calls on men to reject violence, to embrace empathy, and to see gender equality not as a threat, but as a shared benefit. We must actively involve men and boys, not as bystanders, but as champions for change. We must work with traditional and religious leaders, with fathers, teachers, artists, and athletes, because culture is shaped in everyday interactions and in the stories we tell ourselves and each other. We must say this clearly as a country: GBV is a national security issue. When citizens, half of whom are women and girls, cannot move freely, access education, pursue economic opportunities, or feel safe in their homes, the very fabric of our society is under threat. GBV perpetuates cycles of poverty, fuels inequality, and breeds environments where extremism and lawlessness can thrive. Ensuring the safety of women and girls is not only a moral imperative, but also essential for national peace, stability, and development.
It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to this African regional workshop on positive masculinity and the fight against gender-based violence. Today, we are brought together by a common goal to challenge harmful gender norms. We gather here as advocates, change makers, policy makers from across 7 countries in Africa, each one bringing our specific perspective, experiences, and shared commitment to advance gender equality and ending violence in all its forms. GBV International, through the She Pan-African program, is proud to co-host this important workshop alongside other partner organizations. Let me say something about GBV International. We are a global network of 120 civil society organizations in 105 countries globally, and we work together to end all forms of sexual exploitation of children, including sexual exploitation of children in travel and tourism, online child sexual exploitation, and trafficking of children for sexual purposes. We are based in Bangkok, Thailand, and then our African presence is here in Nairobi. I would like to welcome my 2 colleagues who are here. Edith, can you stand up, please? Daniel. Those are our Bangkok staff, but they are based here in Nairobi with me. Thank you so much. For She Pan-African program, I think my colleague's team will speak a little bit about She, but it's a very interesting program funded by the government of the Netherlands with the aim of amplifying the voices and leadership of girls and young women across the continent. The She program is being implemented in 7 countries in Eastern and Western African countries, mainly Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, Mali, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. Together, ECPAD and the SHILID Pan-African program are collaborating in a very holistic, multi-stakeholders approach to end gender-based violence and to promote positive masculinity, about mostly bringing policy change at the policy level and as well as at the societal level. I would like to close my opening remark by saying that positive masculinity is about empathy, it's about accountability, it's about partnership. I would like to say, and here to invite men and boys who are here to take an active role in promoting safety, respect, and equality within their families, within their communities, and within different institutions. Once again, on behalf of all the organizers, I warmly welcome each one of you here, and I say thank you so much for your commitment to this workshop. Merci beaucoup.
I'm happy to welcome all foreign delegates to this great nation of Kenya, and also to welcome all participants to this important workshop. This workshop is meant to convene on around goals to deliberate on positive masculinity and fight against gender-based violence, which has reared its head in our country, Kenya. This initiative represents a significant stride in our shared pursuit of justice and the protection of fundamental rights for all Kenyans. The State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action value the commitment by not only FAWE, but all its partners who have co-sponsored this activity and also are participating in promoting gender equality and supporting the empowerment of women and girls through education and training, and also highlighting issues around positive masculinity. We are pleased to learn significant progress that FAWE and its partners have achieved through Break Free Alliance program in advocating the rights and safety of women and girls across the African continent. The development of the African Union Convention on Ending Violence Against Women and Girls in 2024 is a notable one. This landmark convention, now adopted by the AU heads of states and government in February 2025, is a critical step towards addressing gender-based violence and advancing gender equality in not only Kenya, but across Africa. Gender-based violence remains a grave issue affecting individuals, particularly girls and women, across all sectors in Africa. It does not discriminate irrespective of race, age, color, religion, or creed. Unfortunately, this pervasive issue continues to pose one of the most pressing public health and human rights challenges on a global scale in different forms. Addressing gender inequality in education, economic empowerment is a big step to achieving SDG 5 on gender equality. It also addresses gender inequality and gender-based violence that undermines the fundamental principles enshrined in the Constitution, particularly those outlined in the Bill of Rights, thereby guaranteeing human dignity and fundamental freedoms. As a nation that is committed to the rule of law, it is incumbent upon us to ensure that these constitutional ideals are made possible through education and economic empowerment for all. Ladies and gentlemen, this regional workshop will deepen understanding and advocacy among youth advocates, partners, and stakeholders across Africa to inform also the ratification of the AU Convention on Ending Violence Against Women and Girls and also enhancing positive masculinity. These will reflect our commitment to ensuring gender equality and women empowerment, and also enhancing the right of girls in our society. In conclusion, I extend my deepest appreciation to not just FAWE, but to all partners for supporting this workshop, and also in addressing issues around the condition and position of girls and women in society. Together, let us work towards creating a safer and more just society, and also ensuring that women and girls are safe in all spheres of society.